Last to last class. This you have not done. अरे किए थे नहीं किए थे बोलना.
Starting classes we discussed this.
No. Okay. I think other sections I'm confusing because I'm handling 5 sections. Okay. Never mind. You can also tell me later if I've discussed. Okay. Should I wait for a minute or can I start? What's your advice? अरे कोई तो एडवाइस करो. संगीता अलीबा अनम्यूट कर रखना.
So we will wait for 1 minute.
Okay, by the time others join, let me tell you that this semester major focus was on non-parametric test, which is nothing but hypothesis testing, and you should expect that in the theory portion, objective portion, the concept which we had discussed in semester 1 is also common, should be expected. I'm telling you from the exam point of view, and this is a revision class. I need your active participation. You can stop me anywhere, any number of times, and you can ask me or suggest me anytime. Okay? So today we'll be trying to review what we had covered earlier in semester 1, concept of sampling very briefly, and very briefly in 1 minute estimation, because this is not important, and set of terms or set of formula that we had used for hypothesis testing, which we had covered in semester 1. That should also come. This is, as we have covered, all of you note it down. This is a revision class. Then I'll devote last 30 minutes on revision of ANOVA, which we have done in this semester. So, repeating again, hypothesis testing are of two types. One is parametric test, another is non-parametric test. Non-parametric test we have covered: sign test, round test, rank sum test. Can anybody guess and tell me what is perhaps parametric test? Any guess? Sarada? Hitisri? अरे कोई तो बोलो. संगीता, अलीबा.
Sir, chi-square test.
Chi-square test, those which covered in first semester.
सारे will be parametric test. Avik, what is the difference between non-parametric and parametric? What is the common things of non-parametric?
Sir, in they are different in like in non-parametric you cannot test all. It's not a population. It's not. Population sampling cannot be possible in non-parametric.
You are eating up things. Santanu? Any volunteer? Raise your hand. Ashish Subuligre. Now, what are you going to Ashish?
No, sir.
Punit, tell.
Yes, sir. So in parametric test, we know about the population, but in non-parametric test, we don't have any information about the population.
Okay, this is the basic difference. Good. And second difference is in non-parametric test we do not use the given numbers or values. We use their representative symbols. Okay, this is a drawback of non-parametric. Okay, let's move. So today we'll be very briefly revising. You can note down very fast, or if you want I can also record.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so very quickly we'll be revising the concept of sampling, why we go for sampling, and we'll be discussing quickly the types with examples. and very briefly estimation. Then we'll have a discussion on the introduction to hypothesis testing. So we can start why one goes for sampling survey. When you are making a survey, you have perhaps the intention, objective or interest to know about the unknown population. About population where you do not know, you want to check, test by taking a small sample. Whatever information you are getting from the sample, you are inferring, you are predicting, you are telling, you are projecting for the entire population, right? So this is the basis of statistical inference. What is the meaning of inference? It is very quick. All of you should today save my time. Half a second, half a minute, or say pass. Here inference means what? Shreya, when I'm taking name, please quickly tell answer or say pass.
Inference means to get into conclusion.
You are inferring on unknown population, okay? Inference based on sample on population, which you do not know. So that is inference for population on population, okay? Now, these are the some of the points which we had discussed, why you cannot go for census method. Please remember, it is expected that the sample size should be very large so that your result would be more authentic, more accurate, trustworthy. But many times because of resource constraint, we take a small sample. But given a choice, if you have enough resources, enough time, then you should try for a very, very large sample which is as good as a census method. Okay, that would have been better. I think we have already discussed why many times, even if you have money, time, you cannot go for census method. Santanu, anybody who remembers Santanu, Saroda, Ashish? My question is, even if we have got time, money, patience, manpower, many times we cannot apply census method. Why? When?
So sometimes it may be destructive.
Very good. When you do not know the population is inaccessible. In that case, you cannot go for census method. If testing is destruction, you cannot go for census method. Very good. Thank you. Moving ahead, now coming to the sampling. These are some of the terms which you know. Suppose it is asked in exam, give an example of infinite population. So all of you can answer. Infinite known population, infinite unknown population. You can be in a position to write short question answer in exam. Population could be finite or infinite. All of you remember, sample is by definition always finite, smaller. And please remember, sample sampling and sample frame, they are not same. Sampling frame means the complete list of entire population. Many times sampling frame may not be available. Okay. So if sampling frame is not available, one of you can remind me when we are discussing sampling that you should ask me this question. If sampling frame is not available, you cannot go for random sampling. When I'm going for random sampling, you can remind me this question. Okay. Now, moving for the classification of sampling, broadly you can classify all sampling methods into two. One is probability sampling, another is non-probability sampling. Who can tell me briefly what is the basic difference between probability and non-probability sampling? Be quick, save time, raise your hand. Shivani?
Sir, probability sampling is a pure chance and non-probability sampling is based on our preferences.
Wow. Chance versus choice. अब एक अगर तो फ्यूचर में शादी करेगा, मैंने अगर ऐड किया, अगर मान लो मन हुआ, you will be adopting chance or choice. Chance का मतलब समझते हैं?
Yes, sir. Preference, choice.
Randomly जो मिला, बस. So whenever you are Sarada going to a shop, purchasing a dress, you will be going for chance factor or choice factor?
It's a choice factor.
So why I am giving these examples? When this comes as an indirect question in exam, which is better, don't jump to conclusion. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Based on the need requirement, you may prefer one. Am I clear, Santanu? So this is what the basic difference all of you should remember. Now let us try to explain very quickly set of non-probability sampling. As you know, first and foremost is convenience sampling. Because of convenience, you select, say for example, you PT project, those you have made survey questionnaire, you are sending to a questionnaire to your known contacts because this is convenient. Okay, so you are sending those. So and you save time. Okay, this is not random sampling or probability sampling. Okay. Next is judgment purposes sampling. Suppose you are making a selection. जैसे I give like selection of a dress, selection of a life partner. I gave just now 2 examples. So these are cases of there is a purpose, there is has to be some judgment. So it is called judgment or purposive sampling. Now very recently we had local body election, panchayat election. As you know that there will be some reserve category for women or some other categories. When you have got some reservation, that is part of quota. So it's a quota means you have specific reservations. That is called quota sampling. I think the last one is important. All of you should be clear. You can recall and tell quickly what we understand by snowball sampling. Gautami.
Yes, sir. In snowball sampling, we had not much prior idea about the individual. Like, for example, Ferrari in Odisha.
Okay, so how do you know that if you want to make survey?
Sir, there are rare case of that sample.
हाँ, फिर कैसे sample select करेंगे बोलना? You have tried very well, but your answer is not complete. Simran, then Maheshwata, in that order.
If someone has Ferrari, then he can suggest that who other one who is the having Ferrari, like referral system.
Maybe.
So like in like a snowball, first it's small and then as it rolls it collects more and bits more. Same way we choose first like limited amount and as we go ahead we get more participants.
So you get information about successive units from the previous units. Okay. So Gautami, you have to tell that how you have to proceed.
Yes.
Otherwise it will be incomplete. Okay, thank you, Maheshwata. So this would be, I can give one example. So for example, just 10 days back, 2 of my scholars had come. They just wanted a good topic. I just told, why not taking up a new project like the issues, challenges faced by single mothers. Then when issue a single mother, how to get the respondent. So then 3 of us sat together, recalled from our own network, we immediately recalled maybe like 7 to 8 single mothers in and around Bhubaneswar. So we then thought maybe like we can approach them, maybe they know because they are suffering or maybe facing a unique difficulty, why not asking them if they know others. So that was part of snowball sampling. Okay? If you are referring your some known sources to get further sources, that is part of snowballing or snowball sampling. Okay? Now let's move to probability sampling. Probability sampling is just a giving some chance to all observations or units of the population for selection. As you know, the simplest and foremost sampling is called simple random sampling. this is of two types. One is with replacement, another is without replacement. Anybody who knows by chance the difference between with replacement and without replacement? With? No? Should I volunteer? Suppose from your batch, we have to send two students to represent two university bodies. One, cultural society, another is athletic society or athletic. Say for example, we know Maheshwara is a good sports person. He had represented India and maybe she is best fit. So you are selecting her to represent the athletic society, right? Again, we all know that she is really gifted, talented in cultural activity also. And there is no harm if we repeat. Suppose there is a consensus, you agree that she could also be given a chance to represent the cultural society where she can do justice because she is best fit. So for one selection, you have selected no. Then for second selection, again, you are trying to select her. That means you have replaced her roll number name back in the bowl or container from where you are selecting. So, with replacement means successive selections, you are replacing back the already selected units. Where? In which case, Samvita?
With replacement.
With replacement.
And if it is without replacement? No
Then the
repetition. No repetition. No repetition. Okay. Suppose you are adopting this SRS for your survey. You are conducting one questionnaire survey for your batch. Okay? Who has understood the mechanism, methodology, how it should be done? Suppose you want to send 30 questionnaires randomly under SRS to your batchmates. Itisri Pushti, what is the meaning of SRS?
Simple random cycling.
Has anybody got my question? Any answer? Paliva, what is my question?
Sir, that we will randomly send the questions which we have made to.
Is it difficult question? कोई तो बोलो, try तो करो. Shreya, Ashish.
Sir, we will send random question without any repetition.
अरे कैसे? Whom? Are you sending to Itisri or are you sending to Maheshwara? To whom?
Our classmates.
Our classmates.
अरे यार, which 30?
So based on the roll number, we randomly select roll numbers and share them.
अरे वही तो संबिता I'm putting randomly means what? Even I asked to research
Without any sequence or proper system.
अरे कैसे? बोल ना, how? Is anybody now getting my question? How?
About replacement.
अरे फिर without replacement. You just tell me 30 names. How will you be telling? Should it be Alibar, Sunit, Shreya? Why? How will you be doing it? Can anybody फटाफट Google and get from internet? जल्दी करो, search करो random number table. Even if I ask this small question to my PhD scholars also, I'm sure even 70% will get confused.
So could you please repeat the question again?
How to select 30 students randomly out of 350 first year MBA students?
From the register.
अरे register से जे कैसे? Whether you are selecting Maheshwara, whether you are selecting Itisri or Sunit.
So first 30 students.
क्यों? Then is it random?
So we select people who are friends, like whom we know, so that it's easy to just send them.
That is convenient sampling ना Maheshwara. वही तो बोले थे ना.
Sir, first unit randomly select होगा, फिर second automatically derive हो
वो बाद में जाएंगे. Has anybody got random number table? कोई share करो screen. Has anybody got? Nobody is helping.
Recording stopped.
अरे किसको मिला? This is a portion, but if you check, it's a whole page. Okay? So, whenever a teacher is discussing about simple random sampling, maybe like many teachers forget about telling the role of random number tables. Random number tables are readily available, or you can generate through Excel also. Please check if you are checking the whole random number table. It's a big table. I think some others have already got a full page, many columns. So if you check a single, every number is repeated equal number of times. It is done through one algorithm in such a way, the computer generates the number. Aliva wanted to share something?
Sir, is this the table you are asking for?
No, Shivani has to stop, then only you can see. Shivani? Yes, something like this, and it will be much bigger also. Anyway, no, all the same, hope you are doing it. So I was also, if you, I don't know whether I have said or not, my first job was with the Ministry of Planning, that is called National Sample Survey Organization, as a statistical investigator. Those days when we did our PG in statistics, automatically job was coming because of on the basis of marks. So my first job for 1 year was with Sample Survey Organization. There we used to go to different villages to collect socioeconomic data. Okay, so the day we go, they will be giving a random number table book. That is called Tippett's random number table. Different companies, scientific companies are there, they will be doing it. So suppose you are checking it, can you make it larger? Okay, so suppose you are taking 3 digits of last column. Okay, so then you know which roll number or which house number you have to go. Am I making sense, Sarada Sambhita? Suppose I am going to a big village. Okay, say nearby Bhubaneswar, Naharkonda. Okay, suppose whether I am selecting 17th house or 23rd house, it is because of this random number table. So that my supervisor, if he or she comes, he can verify whether I had collected data from that house or not. Abhi samajh raha hai re? So for cross verification, it is possible. So this is the way random selection happens. Maheshwata, have you heard of Bhutan lottery, Nepal lottery? सुनी ना? अरे जो लॉटरी मेथड जो अभी होता है ना, कोलकाता में, बंगाल में बहुत सारे लोग पागल जैसा
हाँ सर, बहुत है
लॉटरी. How to they select like this? They will be selecting randomly. Okay, so anybody can verify which will be the next second prize, third prize. Automatically, it is done. So the person who was telling SI selector or first 30 selector, that is not SRS. Okay, please remember. Even if you ask a PhD scholars also, many PhD scholars will be confused. So without any bias, if you are selecting randomly, you have to either go for a lottery method, put all 360, 350 cheats in a bowl and select one. Whosoever comes, that will be selected, which is not technically sound. So people resort to random number table. Okay, stop sharing.
So here each and everyone having the equal chance to be selected.
Okay, so this is just, I wanted to clarify this, and I think somebody was suggesting about select one. I think Gautam was selecting, then next will be automatical. That was part of systematic sampling, not simple random sampling. From the group, you select one, then you go on adding some number, next number will be systematically randomly selected. Okay, this is systematic. Stratified random sampling is important for English students like novel sampling. What is stratified random sampling and why, when we should go for stratified random sampling? Aditra, you are there. Aditra, listening to me? Aditra, you are there.
Yes, sir.
हाँ या ना या पास तो करना फटाफट.
Yes, sir. I'm there. Am I audible?
अरे बोल ना, आंसर बोल नहीं तो पास कर.
So pass. I don't know what static I.
आशीष. अरे तुला फोन तयारी सरला रे. कोण हो? स्विच ऑफ व्हिडिओ स्विच ऑन कर.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, yes sir is not the answer. Aliba.
Sir, when we use various strata for dividing.
Navita, my super.
So like first we divide the entire population.
Why? Again you are telling like Aliba. Why? I'm
The
asking.
samples are not homogeneous.
Yes.
They are not homogeneous.
If you know the population is heterogeneous, you start with that word. Okay, if it comes in exam, all of you must use the two words heterogeneous, homogeneous. If population is heterogeneous, we divide, stratify into smaller homogeneous sections groups. That is called stratification. Okay, you divide into different strata. All of you remember strata is plural. Nobody should write stratas. Strata itself is plural. Singular is stratum. Okay, that also you randomly select. Okay, next is cluster sampling. If you know the units are highly concentrated in one small geographical area, you better or rather select that area that is called as cluster. So for example, Pata sari or Sambalpuri sari. Okay, so the weavers, if you know they are in some area, so those particular areas you can select as clusters. So that is as cluster sampling. And the last one is, if you find a huge geographical area, stage by stage, if you reduce the areas randomly, say country into state, state into district, district into subdivision, blocks, so stage by stage you randomly select a few. So that is called multi-stage area sampling. Is it clear? I think we should not waste time. Okay, estimation, I will not bother you, trouble you. Just you should know why estimation is required and why it carries importance for young managers like you. Say for example, you are joining a bank. Whether to give a loan or not, you are in dilemma. Okay? So you have to decide, take a call, whether that person will respond or not. Okay? Say for example, financial position, or if you will call it civil score, whatever. Otherwise you will be in a risk. What is the risk, Mahiswata? You are not listening. I could read from your face, Mahiswata, because it was boring, so you are deliberately you are not listening to me. You are a banker. When you are giving loan to a person, you may be held responsible if it is a bad loan. What is meaning of bad loan, Mahiswata?
So like if the who takes loan is not able to repay.
So if you are a bank officer, what should you do? Why to take risk? Don't give loan. ऐसा करेंगे तो you have to give loan because from loan bank earns profit. ठीक है? So now how do you know? So you have your own mechanism and you have some estimation. ये बंदा should it refund or not? Okay, so that is your decision. So there you try to apply either your logical thinking or some statistical calculation also. Like whether there will be a storm, if there is a storm, what will be the wind speed that we had discussed. Now, very briefly, just to prepare you all for exam, I'll be very succinct, brief in telling what you should not read or may leave and what you must read. Maybe there is a question. Let me skip this. I think you know that estimation is of two types, point estimate and interval estimate. I will be taking you to this graph. Now, can anybody quickly tell me what is the difference between past and third picture. And which is better? When you are using a range interval estimate, you are showing this. Let me tell you, you are telling that this will happen within this, and you are telling guarantee it is 68% chance or guarantee. You are telling this may happen within this with a 99.7% guarantee. Which is better?
Third one, sir.
99.7%.
Most of you may think it is third one, but if I, Avik, put it like wind speed, to bolega, I have calculated using formula, साइक्लोन का विंड स्पीड होगा 100 से लेके 200 तक. Will it be good, or myself are telling I can predict that it is going to happen between 140 to 160 with 75% chance guarantee? Which is better?
Be more specific.
So if you are after the guarantee probability 90%, if the range is wider, actually that is not that handy, that is not actually usable. Say for example, unfortunately I am giving the example of Ukraine
Recording in
Russia
progress.
war. As you know that, I don't know whether you have marked or not, Russia is a huge giant. Why they are lingering? Why they are taking weeks time? They are meticulously targeting to the arms, ammunition depot and research centers, and they are avoiding some civilizations or habitations. Okay, so they are trying to unarm Ukraine, and they are sending supersonic or hypersonic missiles from far off place, thousands of kilometers place. Now, those who are following the war, you might have seen one missile has hit one hospital, one mosque, and there was a hue and cry. So there is some error. What I'm suggesting is you are having a missile and you know the target. It is going to travel 1,000 kilometers. If your range is 1,000 kilometers, 1 kilometer this side, that side, then you will be happy. If it is like you never know where it will fall. This is a very dangerous thing. Are you appreciating? So, in that context, many times the middle one is preferred. And coming to your exam point of view, what is expected from you? That you may be perhaps asked to calculate 95% confidence limit or calculate 99% confidence limit. Have I covered this, Sarada, in semester 1? How do you do this? Hope you remember that for 95 it is plus or minus 1.96, and for 99 it is plus or minus 2.58. These two numbers you have to remember. Suppose in exam mean and standard deviation is given. Mean is 60, standard deviation is 1. Ashish Paikra, if question is construct 99% confidence limit, what should be done?
We'll accept.
Sorry?
We'll accept.
Are you attending my class or you are watching some movie?
No, sir. No, sir.
Sarada, what is the question? Avik? Question क्या है?
सर सुना मतलब याद नहीं सर.
तू तो मतलब ही है तू. Mahasuda, what is the question?
So mean is 60 and standard deviation is 1, and with
Very good.
99% confidence
So
level.
what should I write? Just tell me. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
What should I write? Mahasuda.
So 60 plus 2.5.
Are you have to first write minus, plus or minus, na?
Yes, sir.
Minus 2.58. I told I think 99% or 95%?
99%.
So 2.58 into 1.
Yes, sir.
you put comma, then 60 plus 2.58.
2.58.
First, just calculate two numbers, you get full mark.
Yes.
Assist Paikara, wake up. Tu कौन रे गैस रे बसे छु उपमा करू छु ना कौन?
No, sir.
We know that you are preparing your breakfast lunch yourself. You are good to wake up.
Yes.
Okay. Now moving to the concept of hypothesis testing. Let me skip this quickly. Hope this is known. When you are taking a sample, sometimes, in some cases, we may get wrong answer. Suppose you have access to sample only, Sarada. If the sample is bad, whatever sample you are getting, what you will do?
Reject.
If the sample is bad, you will reject. We cannot help anything. And if you are getting sample good, sample अच्छा दिख रहा है, so what you will do?
Accept.
And we are knowing what is the population. The population could be really good or the population could be really bad. If you combine these two with these two, there are four situations happening. Okay? Now, these are the four situations. Any four volunteers? Can I ask Itisri to start with situation 1, Shreya situation 2, Sunit situation 3, Sharada situation 4. Fatapat start karo.
So when the sample is bad and we accept the hypothesis, then it should be wrong.
अरे example बोल ना. One real life example.
इसका marriage ऐसा कुछ दिया था.
Suppose Aliva was in a bad mood in campus selection interview. The recruiter asked 3 questions, point blank. Fatapat Sadasat, okay? Aliva fumbled, she could not answer. Itisri, you are recruiter, what do you do?
अगर सपोज मतलब आंसर दे देगा तो मेरे साइड
अगर मगर मतलब क्या? She did not answer, what do you do? You are rejecting, बोल ना?
Yes, sir.
So, but we all know Aliva is really very good student. That's for a moment, she couldn't answer. So, recruiter has rejected. So, it's a wrong situation. The company, organization, missed a good candidate. Okay? This way we have to tell. Who is to explain second situation?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, jaldi bol, fatapat. Time save karo.
Sir, if Aliva is answering all the questions and we are selecting
It's a
her.
correct decision. Okay. Who is to explain third situation?
Yes, sir, if Aliva is unable to answer that question and the interview selected her, or means Aliva answered the question if she knows that by mistakenly and
Or you are confusing. Clearly,
The candidate who don't know the answer, but the basically not knowledgeable that much, but they correctly answered that moment and
correctly answer the moment.
So by chance I answered
by chance they
correctly.
answered.
By fluke he answered. He knew all these 3 questions, so he answered.
She has not answered.
If she knows the answer but she couldn't answer it.
No, why you are telling Aritra? Why you are, I know that Aritra is best friend of Aliva. Why you are like having sympathy on Aliva? Suppose she is a bad candidate, may not be Aliva. She did not answer. Why you are confusing Sunit? She did not answer, and the recruiter rejected her. And actually, that candidate is a bad candidate. So the recruiter has done a good thing by rejecting a bad candidate. No confusion, clear?
Sir, I was saying last one.
Answer. Huh?
I was saying last one, sir. Wrong. That type.
Why you are jumping to last? We are discussing here, not third. Who is to explain for situation?
Sir, candidate is not good and he also got rejected.
No, they accepted, sir. They,
Sorry, accept.
Candidate is very good.
for the company.
Array, a candidate knew only few questions, answers. To her good luck, the recruiter asked those questions and she got selected by chance. Actually, she is not a fit case. Okay, so you have to explain correctly. Okay, these are four situations and two errors. This is type 1 error and type 2 error. Hope you remember this type 1 error is called producer's risk and the other one is called consumer's risk. Why it is called term so? Any volunteer?
Sir, in alpha it will affect the organization.
Or why it is producer's risk?
Because sir, they are the wrong question to the wrong person, so that they miss the right guy person. So that is their risk.
If you are answering, all of you wake up and tell from exam point of view. If you are explaining producer's risk, I would expect you all to use one manufacturing example. So that at least the poor teacher, you know who is the teacher. The teacher should understand your answer. इधर क्यों लिख रहे हो?
In the first case, in the alpha case, if Aliva is a good student, but the
why you are after Aliva?
So let's take Ashish then.
Manufacturing example देना. हम बोल.
अच्छा manufacturing.
नहीं सुन रहा. अरे before sending to market, every company may be having some excuses and sell or not. Statistical qualification sale. Suppose Mayasoda is in charge of SQC unit of one industry. मान लो electric bulb, मान लो anything pen or whatever, or pacemaker, some scientific instrument. The sample you had sent to the R&D lab or SQC lab, by chance, accidentally, only those few were defective. Okay? And what Mayasoda will tell? Sharada, who is Mayasoda?
Manufacturing unit.
You are not listening to me. Sandita, what I just...
in charge of selecting the sample whether to send it to the market or...
Quality control department. अरे after manufacturing production, quality test होता नहीं होता है?
Yes, sir.
Quality check करने के लिए there is one SQC department or R&D department, whatever. I am telling, suppose by chance, unluckily, accidentally, the sample you have sent is bad. What Mayasoda will do?
Mayasoda will reject the whole
What she will tell?
that the samples are not up to the mark, so we will reject and
To whom? To you.
then to the
To the company, to the firm, like.
कंपनी को बोलेगी कि मत भेजो. Why she will tell कि don't send to market?
Because the particular sample was bad.
And
The sample.
reputation will be bad.
Reputation.
ठीक है ना? But ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि बाकी जो है units are good. When you are telling don't send, don't sell, you have already manufactured. Is it not a huge loss, Abhik? It's a huge
Yes,
loss
sir.
for the producer. Okay. And similar way, you can explain what is consumer risk. I would ask you all, while explaining producer risk, consumer risk, please give example, giving some manufacturing example, right? This is, you can skip. Now, as you remember, statistical hypothesis, you have null hypothesis where you have got equal, and alternative hypothesis could be unequal or one side less than or greater than. And referring to alternative hypothesis, we decide whether it is a one-tail test or two-tail test. Now, who can quickly cite an example of a left tail and right tail and two-tail? This should come as short question. Volunteers?
Yes, sir. Sir, may I give the example which you gave in the first semester, the bike mileage and those. In case of bike mileage, if the mileage is more than what is given in the advertisement, then it's okay. But if the critical region is if the mileage is below that, and in the case of population, population level of a city, if the population is over control, then it is not good for the city. There will be employment problem and all. And in case of blood pressure, it is two-tailed because.
a big pollution level.
Sorry, pollution level. Sorry.
कौन सा तो बोलो ना, तो एक्सप्रेस ट्रेन जैसा तो बोलते जा रहा
Yes, sir.
which is left tail, which is right tail?
Left tail is bike mileage, right tail is pollution level of a city, and two tail is the blood pressure of a patient or a person. If the blood pressure is low, then also it is a problem. If it is high, then also it is a problem.
Very good. Thank you so much. Very much correct. I think these two examples, temperature, rainfall, we are also discussed that. Okay. I ask you, please take note of this as probable short questions, and you should give examples. Right. Now coming to the family of testing of hypothesis, which is called parametric test, we had covered in semester 1 large sample test and small sample test with P and chi-square test. F test we have discussed in semester 2. And you should also expect that some questions should come from this large sample, chi-square and P test. Okay, so we are making a revision. Hope you recall this formula. All of you remember this. This is S and this is sigma. What is the difference between this and this? Aliva? What is the difference between these two formula?
So the S is the standard deviation of the sample.
Sample standard deviation, when population standard deviation is not given, and we apply small sample. This is T test, this is large sample test. Okay. Now what is the difference between these two, Avik?
The first one is one sample test and second one is two sample. When there are more than one sample, then second one, sir.
So you should remember where to apply this formula, where to apply the next formula. And numerator, there is always a difference and divided by a standard. I request you, please note down the formula. Hope I'll be sending again this PPT for your reference. Okay, I want your help and participation. Can you please quickly, don't look to the answer may be a bit confusing. Who can just very quickly explain the meaning of the case so that we understand whether it is one tail test, two tail test, left tail, right tail, and it's on your screen. Any participant, volunteer?
So you can identify such places as both the nature some obstruction and left tail.
Two tail or one tail?
Sir, one tail.
One tail.
Very good. Right tail or left tail?
Left tail.
Left.
Why?
Sir, average should be greater than.
Are a completion
Less
time?
will be the days, it will be good for the company, na? They are more experienced within limited.
Completion time अगर कम होगा तो better रहेगा ना?
Yes, sir.
Why it is left tail? It is right tail test, na? Samita?
Yes, sir, it will be right. More is the red day, then it will be comes to the critical region, which will not good for the company. That's why.
That is important. You should understand. And is large sample or small sample?
Large sample test.
So which formula will be applying?
Z.
Z formula.
Normal test.
Very good. Very good. So let us keep. You should note it down. And this example, all of you read twice and tell me the meaning, the way we discussed the last example. Be quick. This we had done earlier.
Trace hypothesis that average life of the largest wave. Trace is the amount that the standard deviation is like the sample 35.
Others, please participate.
The trace is less than the hypothesis.
One tail or two tail?
So one
tail.
One tail. Left tail test.
left tail, sir.
Left tail test.
Very good. Thank you so much. Large sample or small sample?
Sir,
Large sample.
Large sample.
It was okay. So all of you hope know how to solve this. Let's not waste each other's time. All of you note down the question and please make a practice and you should solve it. Next question. Please participate. Thank you. Those who are not switched on video also, please participate.
Just which city?
Aditi, Vadani, Itisri Parida were there.
Tested comparing
Yes, sir.
Please participate. Is it two-tail test or one-tail test?
One tail test.
Sir, one tail test.
Left or right?
Left.
Left, sir.
Left, sir.
Left. Higher the better. Higher the better. If movie runs for more days, more weeks, then you'll be happy. Okay? So this you should remember. Okay. Yeah. Last question for today. For last sample test. Hope you remember what is the role of this 750?
User Kelly.
What is the role of 750?
Nothing regarding this.
Very good, very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Please remember. Please remember this. This is for conclusion. Okay. Now, what is Sunit here? New, what is expert?
Mu is the 14 evolves.
Correct?
No.
Sir, 960.
960.
960.
Sunita sir, voltage low hai re. Shivani is doing really better today. And expert is
954.
954.
very clear. And standard deviation is given, so we have to find test it. It's a large sample. Okay? No confusion. Okay. This I think you remember. I can skip this. I can skip this. Okay. Hope you remember chi-square test.
Yes, sir.
In chi-square test, Sarada, first and foremost thing what we should do?
Sir, we have to do another. Yes.
E values. How E value is found?
So row total into column total
Very
divided
good.
by grand total.
Very good. Once you find respective E values, then Shivani, we have to make the chi-square table. In chi-square table, what are the columns?
Observe value, expected value,
Expected value.
observe minus
Expected.
O minus E whole square.
Then,
O minus E divided by E.
no, once E whole square. Now, what is the last column total called?
Chi-square statistics.
Chi-square calculated value rate.
Calculated.
And this is to be compared with tabulated value. How will be referring the chi-square table?
Degrees of freedom.
Degrees of freedom and alpha.
N minus 1.
Sarada,
Size minus 1.
Degrees of freedom. Number of row into number of column.
Number of row minus 1.
Number of rows minus 1 into number of
Minus
columns
one.
minus 1.
Sarada. What is it? So don't be overconfident, Sarada. Easy question. So you need to refer this. Okay. Now suppose Itisri Pusti, what should be the null hypothesis written here? What is null hypothesis? What is null hypothesis?
mu1 equals to mu2.
अरे यार Aliva, Sambita,
round up to
So the brand do not have any impact on the
there
cavity.
is no dependence, no association. Itisri, pakala khaijo ji.
Yes, sir.
In Z test, T test, that equal to will be there. In chi-square test, all of you write, in all of it, there is no association, no dependence between the two factors. Checking of cavity and use of brandy toothpaste. That is important. Now moving forward, what are the two factors here? Sarada, what are the two factors?
Self-owner, regulated. Fertilizer and
Ownership and fertilizer use. Avik, what would be null hypothesis?
There is no different, does not depend basically, does not depend on self-owned land or others cultivating on others land, does not depend for the fertilizer use.
Use of fertilizer has no association with ownership of land. Okay? Same way you should do. All of you note it down carefully. Okay? This is what type of test? Anybody? Any volunteer? Samran?
So dread test?
Okay. What else, Sangeeta? Which formula? Mahasuta?
Yes, can't remember.
the small p minus capital P.
Two sample test.
You see, today you are blocking since morning. Small p minus capital. Right, two sample test. X bar minus mu bar. There is one formula I told you, no? Or you see, two means are there, na? Two mean, two standard deviation. Anybody who can tell what is the formula, Sarada? X1 bar minus X2 bar will be divided by whole
Sigma 1 square by N1. Sigma 2.
easy question or difficult question is this?
Easy, sir.
Why you are overconfident? Okay, so this is what we wanted to suggest, and this is the proportion. This you may skip. Okay. Allow me to discuss another 20 minutes, please.
Sir, in instance, will we get any questions from SPSS?
Just
Theoretical questions?
give me 1 minute.
Recording stopped.
How do I minimize and get to? Oh. 1 second, please. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will be again revising within the next 20 minutes. Just half questions and please cooperate. This is where I think Avik was asking about the possibility of theory questions, and this is where we may be requiring some
Recording in
theory
progress.
questions and numerical sum questions. If you remember, we had started this ANOVA while telling that if you want to compare more than 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, then you cannot apply t-test, z-test, you have to go for ANOVA. ANOVA stands for analysis of variance or variation, and it checks, tests, calculates, compares 2 types of variables. What are the 2 types of variables? Variance?
Within the group, also different to group.
Inter
Inter and intra.
Inter and intra. Can you explain the difference between inter and intra, Ashish?
Sir, inter is the compare within the organization, intra is the compare with one organization with another organization.
Are you not confusing us?
Yes, sir.
Sambita?
Suppose we are comparing between each school with another B school, then it will be inter. And if within the kid school we are comparing the number of students or the rank of students, then it will be inter.
Ashish, while you told, second you confused. Okay, first you told correctly. So please remember. And the ratio of the two variances is called what? The ratio of two variances is called what? One sigma square by another sigma square is called what? That is called F value, calculated F value. Please remember this. Now, this is the null hypothesis. As you remember, all means should be equal, and as you can guess, alternate will be not equal. Okay, this you have to write. Now, don't worry much on the theory part. Just remember that the ratio between the two is called F. Okay. Let me skip this one. Only this much you remember. F is equal to sigma 1 square by sigma 2 square. Okay. Or you can write sigma square B. B stands for what, Aliba?
So between.
And W stands for?
Within.
Within. So inter, intra. Okay. So this ratio is called FL. And like other table, you have to refer a table. But luckily, we will not be troubling you to use F table. You will be rather given computer output, which we had done. This I will be skipping this. This is not required because this is for computer practical only. What we will be getting is one computer output. Let me skip this. Yes. From this onwards, I request all of you, please pay attention. You may be given some computer output like this in exam, and you have to interpret. As I have told, this F value is what? This is sigma 1 square, this is sigma 2 square, this by this is equal to this. You remember, okay? And this MS is nothing but sum of square by divisible. Okay. Now, what is the most important or the important elements in this output? First Sambita, then Aliba, then Ashish.
R square.
R square is very important. Then
P value.
Coefficient.
Individual P and final P.
very good. Then
Coefficient value.
Coefficient.
these are very important. You have to remember. Very good. Thank you. Now we'll be just discussing some expected questions. The same way, what is the role of this?
So this is n minus 1.
N will be 9, sir.
Total sample size data points will be 9. From this is till the total data points or sample size is n. Okay. And ratio we have already discussed. Now from this, all of you have digital pen, or at least you can tell me now orally. Shreya, over there? Over there? Unmute kar Shreya.
Yes, sir.
What will be the regression equation? Bol, जोर से बोल.
Regression equation 70.
Regression equation will be 70.
Yes, sir. 70.066 plus.
Should you start that way? Sanjita, what should the equation? Jaldi हम लोग को बोल ना.
Y equal to 70
Yeah, you missed to tell why. you should have written y equals to 70.06.
Plus.
Plus 0.
Okay. Now, these are the important points we should remember, coefficient, and this is how we will be writing the equation. Okay, all of you clear?
Yes.
Either you write y or you can write the terms what is written here. Either way. Okay, let me show you one question. Oh, sorry, what happened?
Recording
Can
stopped.
anybody possible to share that 13.40 question? Or should I share? I don't know why I'm missing. So sorry. Can anybody please help? Fatapat quick. 13.40, you remember? I'm asking you. Anybody listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share then. Is my screen visible? Sarada?
Yes, sir.
Can you read out loudly the first bit question?
Write the regression equation for sets group in term of 4-factor testing.
This we have already discussed. Soham Sen, you are there? Soham?
Yes, sir.
Second bit question part, try to answer.
Variables and
Repeat questions.
aptitude test, common expectation.
Sir. How much?
Why you are wasting time? Jaldi bol na ko.
How much of the variation the sales growth is explained by the aptitude test?
आंसर बोल पाएगा?
Yes, sir.
संतनु? Answer or say pass?
Sir, 92.6.
Huh?
92.6.
All of you agree, Samita?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Soham, सुनाई दिया?
Yes, sir.
Why you couldn't answer? Mahasuda, what is the third bit?
Sir, at which aptitude? So answer will be except mechanical, all are significant.
You will get -3 mark. ठक्कोटा दो बड़े. Sharada?
Sir, here creativity and abstract thinking, mathematical calculation is.
You will also get -3 mark. तू भी बड़े ठक्को. तो आज कौन है जी? अलीबा?
Compare with the 0.0 value. It's
But what is the question? Is it asking the individual factor or as a whole?
Sir, as a whole.
Then Sarada, Mahasuda way of telling all factors. You have to refer the last value, yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My apologies, Sarada. My apologies, Mahasuda. I think you are correct.
Yes, sir.
I thought, I'm sorry. I thought another, the D question I was here. Okay, so sorry. Okay, never mind. What is the last bit, Ashish?
Sir, Joy's new applicant quiz score on the 4 test as follows. CR.
Are you waiting for the first time in your life?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. अरे ये किए थे नहीं किए थे बोलना आंसर कैसे होगा?
किए थे
You will put the value in the equation.
Past bit equation में ये values put करो हो जाएगा.
Yes, sir.
You are reading joyfully. Jay is a new applicant. He was a new reader. Okay. If you are clear, all of you, can I request you take a screenshot? Fatapat lo. I want next 3 minutes of your time. Fatapat. All of you taken screenshot. also this one, so that we are at one page. We can discuss comfortably. These two slides we will be referring. I request you all take screenshot. So if this comes in exam with questions like this, I will start with Tini Panda, you are there? By uttering the correct name of your section. Both of you are there? Sneha?
Yes, sir.
First question easy.
Yes, sir.
What should be done?
So the question would be y is equal to a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus b3 x3.
मार्क मिलेगा तुझे? आशीष? मायशता?
Sir, y equal to a plus b1 x1 b1 equal to.
अरे values तो बोलना.
So y equals to minus.
Y is equal to minus.
Minus 1270.
Yes, sir. Minus 12.74.79 plus b1 into 7.06.
17.06
plus b2 into 0.54 plus b3 minus 0.
Why you are using B3?
Sir, instead of b3.
minus 0.17
Yes, sir.
into score.
0.17 instead of b3, sir.
अरे you have to use either score or x3. Ashish, you have not used x1, x2, x3 or school A score dependent. That is missing. Are you getting me what I am just telling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what is the meaning of second bit awake?
R square.
R square well.
From which table you have R square? First table. There's got three tables. First screenshot you are taken. Okay. And what is third bit? Maisuka?
The third bit is by referring the column and p-values, can we conclude if any factorial predictor is significant? The answer will be yes, only age is 0.
Good, very good. And D bit I think we had discussed earlier, if you remember. What should be D?
So 0.1.
Good, very good. And सोम सेन जो है क्या पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर रहा है उसको लास्ट बीट बोल सकता है सुनीत
Yes, sir.
लास्ट बीट का आंसर बोलना
Sir, 4 factors in most of the data points
So
are
10.
10 data
So
points.
10.
आज सवेरे तेरा गड़बड़ है
10 minus 1 is 9, 10, 10.
और इधर उधर लिखेगा तो मार्क मिलेगा
No, sir.
So thank you so much. With this I'm ending. If you can, if I got any query, suggestion, advice, you can ask me. Any question? This will be my last class. All the best. Those who got any specific doubt, you are most welcome. You can WhatsApp me or mail me. And there is a
Next classes won't be there, the Saturday classes and the next week classes?
no. So I'm closing it here. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.